Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embodying Your Higher Self Tools for Living Consciously. And today we will explore more conversations in consciousness. So sit back, take a break, and enjoy this podcast. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music. Okay, and welcome everyone. Wow, it's great to be back. I can't believe 2 weeks have gone by. Just a lot of things have been going on in my life. And I'm sure those of you who are listening can relate that the energetics have been wow. I don't even know what word to describe what I've been empathing, and it's been intense. I'm very tuned into the collective field. And actually, today I got an astrology reading from an amazing astrologer. I'm thinking I will ask her to come on my show. She's a pretty cool lady from Australia, and she shared with me that based on my birth chart, I'm extremely empathic, which I already knew, but even to the point where I really do have this ability to tap into the collective consciousness in a way that not many people can. And that's a blessing and kind of a curse at the same time. Because there's so much going on, with everybody out there. People are in fear, are experiencing anxiety, are there's a lot of aggression in the world, especially with what's been happening in the United States of America with the recent inauguration. And there's a lot of divisiveness, really, I can feel going on in the world. And, I know this isn't particularly a political show, but, when we talk about consciousness, it really encompasses everything and encompasses the state of the world for sure. And we can't really avoid or hide from what's happening in the world. So yeah, I just have to say it was a bit of a well, more than a bit of a disappointment. It was a big disappointment for me that Biden was inaugurated, because I really have done loads of research about this. And I a lot of people say, where is your, documentation coming from? And honestly, you have to really do your own research, and this has been going on for the past year. But, just to give you an idea of the people that I do listen to: Simon Parks and Charlie Ward and Robert David Steele and Sasha Stone and many more. I have many, many people that I listen to that I know are in the know and actually have direct connections with uh, high up government officials. So I really don't think they're playing games. I think it's real. And there's been some really interesting talk about that this inauguration is really it's all illegitimate. That Biden is an illegitimate president who was inaugurated into the corporation of the United States of America, which is now defunct. And so a whole new government is coming about, which a lot of people are not aware of because, of course, mainstream media isn't talking about it. And I don't personally watch mainstream media. I only watch alternative news, or I listen to, the folks that I mentioned before. Yeah, and it's just of course, I use my own intuitive awareness and my higher knowing to determine what is true for me. And that's all I can say for those of you, you know, don't even necessarily listen to me. I'm not, the authority who determines what is your truth. Only you can determine your truth. but but I will say that as I tap into what's really going on, we're in for a big, big surprise, and it will be quite unpleasant for some people, especially for people that have kind of had their heads in the sand about this, and have been saying that people like myself are just conspiracy theorists, and we're just a bunch of fools. Well, I think soon, people will begin to see the truth, and that's all I can say about that. But yeah, so there's just a lot going on in the collective. I'm feeling it. But I'm also moving out of what I've been told by this wonderful astrologer, out of a place of darkness. I've been in a very challenging place, according to my astrological chart, with a conjunction between Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn, which apparently is quite an intense conjunction. And so, for those of you who are really struggling, it certainly might be worth your while to get your own charts done and find out what's been going on. But I will say, on a brighter note, that we are all awakening, and we are moving into, and we have been moving into a higher vibration for quite some time now. And I can really feel this energetic shift and the upliftment that's coming with that. It's as if, I'm being reborn again. And maybe some of you can relate to that who are listening, because 2020 was a really tough year for me and many, many people. I lost a lot of people who I thought were my friends, and then I discovered they weren't. And being a Cancer, I have a hard time with letting go. It's a little bit hard for me, but I also know that through letting go, that opens the door for new and more loyal friends to come into my life. And I feel that that's what's occurring now. Like, people that truly have my back, that are not just taking, taking, taking. And because I'm a natural giver, it's always been a bit of a problem for me. How do I receive? And so I feel like this year I've turned a corner, and I'm really opening up to receiving, and bringing in people in my life that are really wanting to give to me as much as I give to them. And that feels really amazing. So, there is a saying, my mother used to say, be careful who you surround yourself with, because the people you surround yourself with are a reflection of your own character. And there's really a lot of truth in that. And that's something I teach to my own sons. And it's really important. And people can also be inspiring. They can be uplifting. They can really teach you so much when you're around the right people. And on the opposite end, if you're around people that are not inspiring, and they're always coming to you with their problems, and they're becoming like an energy drain, a leech, so to speak, then that has an effect on you as well. So I think right now, especially now with everything that's going on, I really want to encourage people to really be aware of who you surround yourself with. Who are your friends, and are they really people that are supporting you and loving you and have your back? Or are they just, there because you can give them something they need? And when it's time for you to ask for help, they kind of run away. So that's kind of my 2020 sum up. It was an interesting year, but I really know that with every trial and tribulation that I go through, there's a gift in that. And I feel grateful for all the awareness that I got and the freedom that I have now. As a result of letting those people leave my life, I feel this peace, this inner peace that I haven't felt in such a long time. So, yeah, that's kind of a sum up of my 2020. And I'd love to hear your comments. Comment on my podcast page. What has been your summary of your experience of 2020? What has been your most challenging experience? What has been the most amazing, transformative experience for you in 2020? And what is it that you really want to change in your life for 2021, that if you allowed yourself to do that, be that, and change it, that would really create an incredible life for you? So I'd love to hear your comments about that question, and please share, because we all learn from one another. So today is this is a special podcast. This is Friday. This is supposed to be my channeling podcast day. So let's get with it. Let's start the channeling. And today I want to tap into one of my favorite guides. He has been with me for a long time. He is an Indian chief. And I know that he and I were connected in another lifetime, in the physical realm, in this physical reality. He was my father, and I was his daughter, as an Indian. And I found out his story when I was doing advanced shamanic training, because we were asked to go on a journey and find out the story of our guide. And it was really an incredible story. And I'll share that with you. It was a story of how we, as a tribe of Native American Lakota Indians, were living very peacefully, and were quite happy until one day, the white man came and completely destroyed our tribe, and nearly wiped out the Indians. So it was a tragedy when I went on the shamanic journey and I saw what I saw. I was very deeply saddened and moved by the story of my spirit guide, but also quite surprised to learn that I had been his daughter. And now it all kind of makes sense why he's stuck with me all these years, and through the good and the bad and the ugly, he's always been by my side. He's been there to teach me and protect me, and help me with my healing work. So I'm really, really grateful for his assistance, and that he's my ally, and I know I can count on him. And so I just want to honor you today, Chief. I'm not going to say his name because publicly I don't feel comfortable saying his full name. Um, it's meant to be private, and I'm sure you can understand. For those of you who are shamanic practitioners or know anything about shamans, you should never really tell anybody what the name of your guide is, or even what your power animal is, certainly not in a public forum, because other shamans will then try to potentially mess with your guides. So that's hence why I'm being a bit secretive about the name of my guide. And believe me, I have had that happen, where actually it was a former teacher who, of course, I thought I could trust, and he knew all the names of my guides, and he did mess with one of my guides. So it is possible that can happen. So anyway, back to my chief. He is an Indian chief from the Lakota tribe, and I'm choosing to channel him today. I'm just going to grab my rattle to help me connect more easily, get into a trance state. Welcome to Chief. I said his name in my head. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. And we would love to hear any messages you might want to share with us, any wisdom at this time. And so the Chief will just use my vocal box to talk and share his message for today. Thank you. It is good to be here. I can feel all of you out there, even those of you who have yet to listen to this. I am connected with all of you. I honor you. I come today to share a message of hope. Yes, I know it has been very challenging for so many of you, and I am sorry for this. I too have experienced many challenges when I was in your reality. As humans, the suffering is much greater. But know that a new dawn is rising, a new era, that soon you will have your sovereignty again. This world had to go through this very dark night of the soul in order to transmute these heavier, denser energies on your planet. So many of you have no idea how challenging this fight has been against the dark. Not just me, but many of my fellow light warriors have been fighting this fight alongside all of you. It has been a long and very difficult fight, we will say, but we are winning, and the battle is almost over. Rest assured, soon you will see things will be different. Your governments will be different. They will no longer be able to suppress you and your rights as they have done for over millennia. We were not allowed to interfere before. We were told we must wait for the right time, the right place. We were also told that we could not directly interfere. We had to work through other light warriors like this one I am speaking through at this moment. There is only so much we are allowed to do as compassionate beings. And as you may know, or maybe you don't know, our frequency is very different from those of you who are embodied. Your frequency is much denser than our frequency, which is much finer and higher. Therefore, we can't really directly intervene. We have to work with a person who is the conduit. So I explain this because I know many of you are wondering why, why haven't we come in more directly? This is why I explain to you in detail. But our prayers and our collective energy as compassionate beings have always been there to support you. because our role is to be of service to all of you on earth. And so we have done so as best as we can. So I said before, a new dawn is rising, but it still will take time. The adjustments that will need to occur on this planet will take place for at least another year, even longer. You will not see the dust settle and come to a place of resting until at least another 12 to 18 months. But rest assured, things are getting better. There will be some more bumps in the road ahead for 2020, and we will do our best to make it easy for you to navigate over those bumps. But remember, you must take self responsibility for your own energy, managing your energy, eating healthy foods, moving your body. This will enable you to endure any further challenges that are going to arise in your lives. The stronger you are in mind, body, and spirit, the less likely you will fall over like the tree that bends in the wind. The tree trunk that is strong will bend, it will not break because the foundation is strong. But if your foundation is not strong, you will topple to the ground. So I share this with you so that you understand now more than ever, you must stay grounded and centered. You must stay strong in mind, body, and spirit. Yes, I hope you understand my message. I am happy for all of you because I know now that everyone will be okay. There was a time when we, and I mean other compassionate beings as well, we all thought that the earth could not be saved and all its inhabitants. But fortunately, that timeline is no more, and you are on a new trajectory, a much better one, a much better timeline that ensures that everything will be okay now. Trust, trust, and know that to be true. And it is with those final words that I will say goodbye. Thank you for listening to me. I honor you, and so I know you honor me. And thank you, and goodbye. Hmm. So, just letting the chief leave. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your message. This very powerful message. And as I open my eyes, I see there's somebody in the room. Thank you for joining. Anshika, thank you. This is a family-friendly show. That's a good question. Uh, well, if you are open to letting your children hear about a channeled message from my Indian chief, there is nothing nothing at all that is harmful in the language and the message that is delivered by a compassionate spirit. So I welcome your children to listen if they are wishing to. I'd say that the level of understanding of your child probably maybe would be easier if they were like maybe 12 and older, just because maybe if they're really little, they may not quite understand everything. But that doesn't mean they can't get something of value from this show. Because when a helping spirit comes through and speaks through me, there is this amazing frequency that's generated out, not just in my body, but out to all of you. Um, and all the listeners that come on the show will feel it even with the recording. It's like getting a healing when we encounter the energy of these compassionate beings. It's really quite amazing. So thank you so much for joining, and thank you for asking that question. Um, and I can tell you that on Fridays, I will always be doing a channeled reading from different helping spirits. They are all compassionate beings, and they are all here to be of service to help us humans here on Earth. That is their care of duties, so to speak. And I feel very blessed and very honored to have so many helping spirits helping me with my work. And of course, when we are doing this kind of energy work and doing work of service like I am, then I have a lot of a lot of helping spirits with me and angels. And today I just felt that my chief wanted to speak. So that's why my voice got a bit lower, because he was coming through and speaking to me through me. So thank you so much for coming today. And does anybody have any questions? Or you're so welcome to click on the phone icon and come on live, and we can have a bit of a Q&A if you'd like to know more about shamanism, or about the nature of how compassionate spirits function in our lives, or any other question. You're welcome to come on live, or you're welcome to type a message in the box. I'm happy. So don't be shy if you'd like to come on. Yes, don't be shy. Welcome to Raymond. Thank you for coming, Raymond. You just missed the channeled message that came through from my chief. Please be sure to come back, listen to the recording. It was a really powerful message, and you'll receive healing from just listening to my chief. He's a Lakota Indian, and I explained earlier that in another lifetime, I was his daughter and he was my father. So he's now with me as a spirit guide. So, any questions? I'd love to hear from anybody. Any questions? Okay. Well, please know that I will continue to do these channeled shows. I had taken a couple of weeks off because of illness, getting a bit busy as well. So I plan to resume next week. And I also will be interviewing some guests. So be sure to check out the schedule. I'll put up the schedule soon. And thank you so much for joining today. Have a blessed day. Om Swastiastu. Thank you so much.